Hi traders, this is David again from Apex Alpha Wave Trader. Today I'm going to give us an analysis of what's happening in the currency markets, and first we're going to have a look at the dollar index and see what it's showing us. So right now I'm on the monthly time frame for the dollar index, and you can see here that after this prolonged bearish candle here, I'll just make that bigger, we seem to be at a level of support here. Okay, now we do have a dead cross here supported by this arrow, and we had a dead cross here on the MACD as well with the EMAs. So in as much as it looks like this looks like a fourth wave in this move going up, looks like a fourth wave, meaning that we still have the fifth wave to go. Okay, but right now we are focusing on this zone. Now this spinning top can be construed as a reversal candle, but usually when you see a spinning top in a situation like this, it's acting as a continuation candle. And because I have this dead cross here and here, I believe that we still have a little bit more downward potential to go before we see any sign of a bullish move. Now, if I were to take you to the 200 EMA, you can see here that price went above the 200 EMA, and we are just getting close to the 200 EMA again. Okay, so essentially, if you are to look at the dollar index on the monthly time frame using the 200 EMA, you can see that we seem to be in a sort of sideways situation right now. So based on what I'm seeing on the 200 EMA, I believe we still have a little bit more push to the downside before we can consider any move to the upside. Okay, so I'm just going to switch back to the other template here. So let's have a look at the weekly time frame now. Weekly, you can see that we've been prolonged bearish. Okay, so I believe that we still have a little bit more ways to go, possibly to this zone or even to this area here. You can see we had a dead cross here, a dead cross here, so we are still bullish. So what we are having here right now on the weekly time frame is a collection of reversal candles. Okay, this is just traders chopping wood here, and I believe that once this is over, this correction is over, because you can see that angle and separation on the MACD, angle and separation on the MAs is still very much there and wide. So if I go to the daily time frame now, and I'll just make this smaller, so you can see what we have here is a sort of correction, sort of what we had here. All right, now something about corrections you have to take note of is, after a prolonged move up or down, the correction usually takes about 2 to 3 times the time it takes for the impulse wave to occur. All right, I don't know if I am making myself clear. What I'm trying to say is, example, if this impulse wave here took about let's say 3 weeks, then the correction will probably have to take anything between 6 to 9 weeks. You understand? So if we look at this correction here and tentatively say that it started about 26th, 27th of June and ended somewhere, maybe I have to check, on the 7th of August. Now from the 26th of June to the 7th of August, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 2 weeks. Okay, so that means that we possibly need to wait for this correction for the next 1 month or so. Okay, so for me personally, I'm not really expecting the downward move to continue until probably the end of August or just the first week of September. All right, so you should take note of that, and then you plan your trades accordingly. Okay, so if we were to go down to the 4-hour time frame, you will see we are still in this corrective phase here. So the best thing you can do for yourself if you are trading any of the major pairs is just to draw your trend lines and your channel lines, and then just wait this out. Okay, of course there are still trades you can make here, because if I were to take it to the 1-hour time frame, you'll be able to see that even though we are in a ranging market or sideways situation, you can actually make trades here. It's just that you can see how choppy the situation is. All right, so personally speaking, I'm not really looking to trade any of the majors this week that we're entering. Not because you can't trade this, but because your mentality should be like that of a lion. Okay, a lion is called the king of beasts, but a lion will only attack prey it sees as vulnerable, weak, and easily gotten. So when you want to trade the market, why go for a pair that will give you headache? Okay, I submit to you that by the time you go through all 28 pairs every week, most of the time you find one between 1 to 4 pairs that will give you high probability trades. And in my own case, there are 2 currency pairs right now that I believe will give us high probability trades. But let's just go through the dollar pairs now, or the majors, and just so that we have an idea of what's going on. So because the dollar index is in a channel right now, you can expect that all the dollar pairs are going to be in a channel as well. So we're going to quickly speed run through them. So right now, let's have a look. So let's have a look at USD which is the first one here. So there's no point in me starting from the monthly anymore. So you can see that we are in a channel situation as well. Okay, if I were to draw my lines, we are actually in a sort of triangular formation with this guy. Okay, so until we break out of this triangular formation or channel here, you can expect that we're in a sideways situation. Okay, another way of looking at it is, let's look at the monthly. You can see we had the death cross here, I'll just make it bigger so that you can see what I'm saying. We had a death cross here, so downtrend, right? Going to the weekly, we had it we had a sort of bounce here, which can still be taken as a cross, because we had a dead cross on the MACD. You can see that we are predominantly down. Angle and separation on the EMAs, angle and separation of the MACD. So this is a downtrend for us. Going to the daily time frame, you can see that angle and separation on the EMAs is still there, even though we had a dead cross going up here. And this is the time frame right now that is currently against the other 3 major time frames. So you can wait comfortably here, waiting for this this level of support here to be broken. So once this level of support here is broken, you just wait for a retest and then you can go short. Okay, so this is another way of waiting for this trade. But on the USD you can see that we are in a downtrend. So I'm just going to quickly go to the next one now. Let's have a look at Gbp Usd. And since I started from the monthly on the other one, I might as well start here as well. So on the monthly time frame, you can see we have a golden cross here. We just got a golden cross here. So definitely, at least we probably are going to get a push up from here. And the first zone to consider will be this zone here, okay, which is still about 400 and something pips, 430, 420 something pips. So for the Gbp Usd monthly time frame, we are thinking bullish. Okay, in other words, we are thinking buy. Going to the weekly time frame, you can see that we are in an uptrend here. And if we were to take here as wave 1, wave 2, so we are currently in the 3rd wave, possibly starting out on the 4th. You can see golden cross here, good angular separation on the MACD, golden cross on the EMAs, good angular separation. We are in an uptrend. So once we break out of this this extreme level of resistance here, you can expect that the GBP is going to push strongly up. All right, but what you have to pay attention to is the fact that since we have a golden cross here, we are thinking to buy. Going to the daily time frame, same thing here. So you can see here we do have a big wave bottom situation here with 1, wave 2. So this is wave 3 and now we are in the wave 4. Or you can look at the smaller one, which is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and we are still in wave 4. Okay, so all the first two time frames, the monthly and the weekly, gave us golden cross and good angular separation. So the daily is the only one giving us a contrary signal here right now. So it is okay for us to wait here. So all we have to do is draw our channel lines and wait for these channel lines to be broken to the upside. So you can see how easy it is to anticipate the market once you look at things from the top down like this. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see we are currently in a channel, all right, or rather a sideways situation, which I will advise you not to try to trade except if you're just looking for 20-30 pips. But then 20-30 pips, you might run the risk of getting stopped out. But once this channel is done, okay, then you can see that we're going to have a very beautiful situation going to the upside. So That's the GBP USD. Let's have a look at Euro USD, which is pretty much the same. So even without going to the monthly time frame, you can see here that we are currently doing the same thing as the GBP, basically the same thing as the dollar. So you can see that once we break out of this channel, we are going to the upside. All right. So let's have a look at USD Jpy. Now, for those of you who don't know what corrective patterns are, this is a zigzag pattern here. And because we have this in the downtrend, we do expect the market to go down. But I'm just going to go to the monthly and show you. So you can see that for the USD Jpy, we seem to be in a sort of symmetrical triangle in an uptrend. So I believe that once this is over, eventually we are going to go to the upside, but that will take some time, possibly till next year. So, but what we are seeing here right now, the most current candle, well, we are in a sort of sideways situation. So there's nothing to really see here for the monthly. But going to the weekly, let's have a look. And you can see here, going to the weekly, we seem to be in a sort of it's not very pronounced, but we are in a sort of downtrend because we have a succession of lower highs here. Okay, so right now, after this massive spinning top slash hammer and slash hammer, you can see that we are pushing up to this zone here, which is actually just a bounce, okay, or a retracement in the downtrend for us. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, you can see we now had the zigzag pattern here. Okay, so I submit to you that the USD Jpy is in a downtrend. So the only way you are going to trade this is possibly to wait on the 4 hour time frame and wait for a wave top situation here, and then you can take this to the downside. Okay, so let's have a look at USD CAD quickly now. And USD CAD is in a steady downtrend. Okay, but I'll just quickly go to the monthly here. You can see here consecutive candles, bearish all the way since possibly January. Okay, you can see that. And then going to the weekly, we are bearish. Okay, we had a dead cross here, even though we have a strong level of support around this zone, but I believe that we still have the power to possibly get to these levels eventually, because you can see the pronounced dead cross here, good angular separation on MACD and the EMAs. Okay, and the most current candle is actually a continuation candle. So going to the daily, same thing here, we are in a steady downtrend, as you can see. So what we're having here right now is just a bounce. Okay, so or a rally. Now going to the 4 hour time frame, you can see it clearly for yourself that we are in a downtrend. So what you are waiting for this new week is a pattern of wave top here, and then with possibly a dead cross going down on the 4 hour time frame, and you might get a cross or not on the EMAs. But if we go to the 1 hour time frame here, we'll be able to see it better. So you can see it's very smooth here on the 1 hour time frame. This is actually going to give you a very good high probability trade next week. All right, so all you need to do is just align yourself with the overall trend, which is down, and wait for a dead cross somewhere in this region. If I were to draw a trend line here, example, so we might get a dead cross between here and here. So when you get a dead cross going down on the EMAs and on the MACD, then you should be able to take this trade to the downside quite smoothly. So I highly recommend the USD CAD for you guys to watch. So let's see if we can have a look at AUD USD, and let's see. So you can see here on the AUD USD, we are in an uptrend. We just got a golden cross on the EMA, and we got a golden cross here, so we are in an uptrend. Okay, succession of bullish candles for the past 5 months, so we are in an uptrend right now. So going to the weekly time frame, you can see even though the candles are all very tiny here, but after we bust through this level of resistance, I believe that the AUD is going to have strength to go up, okay, in the foreseeable future. Daily time frame, you can see, so the market being quiet now is a good sign for us, because the next candle that will occur once we finish with this level is possibly going to be a very long one, something like this. a breakout candle, and we can have a situation that will push price up possibly 2, 3, 400 pips in a very short time. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, this is what we are seeing. You can see here we are in a sideways situation, and same thing like the GBP USD and Euro USD, we seem to be in a sideways situation. So once we are done with this sideways situation, we should have an opportunity to go long. We do have a wave bottom situation here, but we are still in a sideways market, so I will not put too much stock into it. Okay, let's have a look at New Zealand USD here, and you can see here that I have to start from the monthly to show you guys. Okay, you can see here that the New Zealand USD, even though we got a golden cross here, we don't have a golden cross on the EMAs as well as of now. So it's possible we might get a little bit of a downward pull down before we continue, but it's also possible that this overall downtrend might continue for the New Zealand. Okay, so you have to pay attention to what the chart is giving you. So right now the New Zealand looks like we are having a negative divergence situation here, so it is possible that we are going to get a bearish situation on New Zealand for now. Okay, I can submit to you that we are in the fourth wave on New Zealand, but we have to go with what the market is showing us. Okay, so we had a dead cross here, we had a dead cross here. So right now New Zealand is actually very weak against the US dollar, so we have to pay attention to that. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame and have a look. So on the 4-hour time frame, this is what it's looking like. Okay, so for New Zealand, there's nothing going on here for you to consider. Don't even think about selling or buying, because it's actually a choppy situation. So until we are done with this entire zone, we are not going to be certain if the New Zealand is thinking of going up or down. Okay, so it's still a sort of diagonal channel, and eventually we might get an opportunity to go long like the others. But considering how this looks, I think your concentration this week, if you are going to trade any of the major currencies, is possibly the AUD USD, USD Jpy, USD CAD, especially USD CAD and USD Jpy are potential trades for the week. But what I wanted to show you guys actually is the CHF JPY and the Euro JPY. So out of all the currency pairs I looked at this week, I'm just going to go to the Euro JPY here. These two currency pairs have the prerequisites to be high probability trades as far as I can tell. So this is the Euro JPY, the monthly time frame, and you can see here we got a beautiful golden cross here. And the golden cross here, even though we do have a positive divergence situation here, but I believe that this move is strong enough to keep going at least to this level first, possibly to this level, and I'm going to show you why. Because when you go to the weekly time frame, you can see after this negative positive divergence situation here, we had a beautiful wave bottom situation, which if I were to plot my APAC calculator here like so, you can see that the first target is here, second is here, third is here, okay, which are all in line with these levels of resistance. So from where we are right now to where the first target is still about 463 pips. So and you can see, if I make it bigger, you can see that all the candles are aggressively bullish here. All right, we have a golden cross here, good angle and separation, golden cross here, and after this beautiful retracement, good angle and separation. So our first initial target will be this zone here, which is still about 131 pips, which is good for a swing trade or even a day trade. So once we penetrate this level of resistance here, then we should be able to push on strongly to the first and second targets, okay, in the next few weeks. So going to the daily time frame for the Euro JPY, you can see that we are in a progressive uptrend, and that is why I'm telling you that the Euro JPY and the CHF JPY are like the best currency pairs to trade this week. So if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, so what all you are looking for on this currency pair is just opportunities to buy. All right, as you can see here. So as long as you wait for a golden cross on the EMAs, golden cross on the MACD, preferably on the 4 hour or maybe the 1 hour, you have no problem. And you can see that the market is inside this channel here. Every move you see here gives you nothing less than 100 and something pips. This is about 170 pips. This is about 192 pips, and you can see that it's almost like taking candy from a baby. So when we have the next golden cross that will take us into this trade, then our target for the first set of target will be this level of resistance here, which might probably give us anything between 150 to 180 pips. So that's the Euro JPY. And if I have a quick look at the CHF JPY, you can see on the monthly time frame we had a beautiful wave bottom situation here with a golden cross on the EMAs and the MACD. And then going to the weekly time frame, and you can see here we had a beautiful wave bottom situation, which if I plot the APAC again, you can see how the first target is here, okay, which is in line with our level of resistance here, and then the second target is here. So if I were to even consider the first target alone, you can see that we still have about 158 pips to go. So these are the kind of trades you should be looking for. Be like the lion, okay? So even though we do have a good trade on the USD card for next week and possibly USD JPY, but I submit to you that the Euro JPY and the CHF JPY are going to be better for you because it will be less stressful, and once you get into these trades, all you have to do is just hang on for the ride. All right, so you can see here that everything here is smooth as silk. You don't have to fight the trend. All you have to do is just wait for your parameters to be filled. Like in this instance, all you need to do is wait for the MACD to give us a golden cross going to the upside, and then possibly a golden cross on the EMAs as well, and then you get into this trade and hang on. Okay, so I hope that today's analysis, I apologize for making it this long. I thought I was going to keep it at about 10 minutes, but I believe that you gained a lot of insight from this analysis this day. So profitable trading to everyone, and thank you very much. This is David of Apex Alpha Wave Traders signing off.